Welcome to episode number 14 of the Hobby Hotline live on YouTube this morning with our host Val Mars at NASCAR Radio from NASCAR Radio. What's up, Val?
Hey, sir.
And we also have Steph and Loeffler, our Jack Wax twins from About the Cards. What's up, Steph? How are you doing?
Howdy.
And I'm Big Shep, Tim Shepler from About the Cards as well. And great to have everybody here tonight. We're the Hobby's only live call-in show. We're live every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. East Coast time. YouTube, Periscope, Facebook Live. Follow us on Twitter at the Hobby Hotline. We're available as a podcast pretty much everywhere. We have a great guest to kick off the show today. Already in with us, Tracy Hackler from Panini. What's up, Tracy? How are we doing today?
Gentlemen, what's happening? Thanks for having me on. And that intro is popping. I just want to go on record as saying
thank
that.
you. We the first few shows, it wasn't we were kind of not as professional, but we're trying to up the game every week here, and so
well, I'm not going to help you out there. Your level of professionalism is dramatically degraded with me on, but I am happy to be here. Appreciate you guys having me on.
Yeah, definitely. We're just a bunch of goofballs talking about guys on cardboard. So on a Saturday morning, so it's great. We're gonna we'll send out the link here for you to join in and call in and hop on with us. But since we're so lucky to have Tracy on, there's been a lot going on in the hobby, and during this whole pandemic, and things have kind of slowed down and restarted in certain places. And I know when I go out to retail, which rarely is the only, when I go to Walmart to grocery shop, I look for cards, and it's wiped clean here. I see some other parts of the country, it's plentiful, but here people can't get enough, I guess. But what it's been like for you as you guys at Panini during all of this stuff, where you have deadlines and you have stuff coming out and release dates and a bunch of products, to pop out, and then all of a sudden you can't do anything and things shut down. What's it been like for you guys?
Yeah, I think like with just about everybody else in the industry, whether you're a manufacturer or collector, it's been kind of certainly unprecedented times for all of us. And we had a temporary shutdown of our production facility, which dramatically impacted our ability to print, package, produce, and ship new product. Everything else we were able to do in terms of photo and design and all the things that we could do during the shutdown, we did do, and that was exciting. And then late last week, we finally got the green light from the governor of Texas to our production facility started back in a limited capacity, and a lot of the products that had been paused at that time of the stay-at-home order were back on the line. And so this last week we saw the pack out of Mosaic Hobby Basketball, which the retail version had come out. Our sales team, production team managed to get that retail version of Mosaic out, and it did really well. Real exciting to see that. So this week the hobby version, choice version, first off the line version packed out, and then also Chronicles Football, 2019 Chronicles Football packed out as well. So you'll see those two products hitting hobby shops in the next probably week to 9 days. And hopefully, barring any unforeseen setbacks, we'll be full speed ahead going forward.
Outstanding. Yeah, and we had Dub Mentality on our show about the cards this week, and we were talking about products and prices selling, and Mosaic. I must have blown through here because I saw some empty boxes of it, but it's been very popular. But also too, we were talking about Prism Draft Football and how crazy the prices of boxes are double or triple what they are at retail or when they go out to sale. And because people just can't get enough, we had the draft happen, which I think felt good for everybody. Like, hey, we have kind of a sporting event happening. We have NASCAR coming back. So everybody got really excited about the draft picks. So what's it look like do you guys have any ideas of what the NFL Rookie Premiere is going to look like, or what 2020 NFL products will look like with the rookies?
So, yeah. So first of all, to talk about the NFL draft, we were able to really have a really impactful execution on our side in terms of working directly with players at their respective parties. That obviously, while practicing a safe social distance protocol, we were able to really have an impactful draft weekend activation with players being live at their houses, tweeting out the Panini instant cards in real time, having the players kind of tweet those out. Just full speed ahead. We had some really fun partnership with Sports Manias on the player emojis kind of popping into rated rookie cards, and a real successful draft for us, all things considered. The Prism Draft Picks product, I think it caught a lot of people by surprise just how quickly it was consumed in the marketplace, both on the hobby side and on retail and on the hobby hybrid version. But going forward for the rest of 2020 and the 2020 football season, there's not going to be a typical or traditional rookie premiere, which is unfortunate, but it's something that we all have to kind of negotiate and embrace and make the best of. And so we're in that process now of a lot of Photoshop work that's going to be needed. And I've seen the early Photoshop stuff for Origins football. We've teased a little bit of it on our social, but it looks great. I mean, Origins is one of my favorite kind of early season football releases, and the Photoshops I've seen of that look great. So it's an unprecedented time. There's never not been a rookie premiere since it started 20 some odd years ago. So it's unfortunate. It'll be a hurdle, another obstacle, but I think we've shown as a community, as a collecting community, that we will make the best of that situation and move on. But in terms of other products, we have a full 2020 NFL slate planned, and look forward to getting that done.
No, definitely. Yeah, I think this is going to be unique, and I think it'll add a unique element to this year's collecting. To look back years from now going, hey, you remember we were going through all of this, and that's why these cards, and it might spawn something amazing that we're not even aware of, because certain things because I think some of the best inventions are based out of necessity and things you don't expect. And I can't wait to see what comes up and what that looks like. And I'm excited. I always love to collect the quarterbacks that come out and kind of do some NFL prospecting, if you will, on who might take off, and it's exciting to see. So,
and that's one of the things that what you hit on was the fan to athlete interaction, and especially with the custom running into the rated rookie. I thought you guys did an excellent job on that. Seeing the players and your account naturally retweeting when the players did, it was just amazing.
Yeah, that was really one of the most entertaining aspects of that partnership with Sports Manias was the buy-in that we got organically from the players, and retweeting them and using them on their Snapchat and on their Instagram, and that's really why we did it. But I think it took all of us by surprise, both at Panini and at Sports Manias, that the players so embraced it. In fact, I think we ended up doing 31 different players had those kind of emojis that went from their college uniform, and then as soon as they were drafted, for transition from college to their NFL uniform on a rated rookie card. And we had a few players who reached out to us who weren't on that initial list and said, "Hey, can I get one of those?" And our friends at Sports Manias were nice enough to make additional ones. So that was a lot of fun. I think it was something that we knew was going to be fun and it was going to be cool, but I think to see the players adopt that in such a widespread manner was really nice. And Tim, you brought up a good point about how necessity is kind of breeds innovation or breeds new things. And I think we saw, even with the NFL draft, I think there was some skepticism early that what would this draft be like? And I think it really led to some unique aspects of kind of bringing in additional players in addition to the 20 or 22 who usually get invited to the draft city, of being kind of live in their home. And I think you'll see that continue for years and years because it was so successful.
No, yeah, I think that was one of the best parts. We have a question from the chat from Chris Harris. Is there a contingency plan in place to acquire autographs or player worn jerseys because of the if the player premiere is canceled, the rookie premiere?
Yeah, I mean, our teams, as you might imagine, our teams have been kind of full speed ahead and a lot of email conversations back and forth between departments because obviously the premiere is one of our, if not our biggest kind of most important event every year, and because it does allow us to acquire a lot of assets in a small amount of time. So I think we're continuing to do that. It's just not going to be 40 guys on site in one place. It'll be kind of player by player. We'll work with them directly to get the assets that we need, and it'll be different. It'll present some challenges that we traditionally haven't had to deal with over the last several years, but I've got full confidence both in our team internally at Panini and also our partners at the NFLPA that we'll make the most of it and be effective.
Yeah, no, definitely. Well, we have a call in here. I think it's Brad. What's up, Brad? Good morning. You have a question for Tracy?
Good morning. Actually, this is pure coincidence. So this landed in my hands a couple of weeks ago.
Awesome.
And yeah, I was actually just very, very pleased that I got it. And I've been scouring the net looking for a way to send it in graded, but I didn't know what you would need to protect this to see, because I don't have anything traditionally that would go on this. So is there a sleeve and then a penny, whatever you want to put it in? That's my first question. And then you were talking about football. I happen to love football. Number one favorite sport. Number two is hockey. But are you worried that with you on the origins, photoshopping the players and all of that, are you worried it might hurt the product coming out or the anticipation of the product coming out because it's not in real uniform?
Not really worried in the case of Origins because that's a product that's kind of art inspired. So that look is pretty Photoshop driven every year anyway. I think our team has really stepped up. If you look at our Twitter and Instagram from yesterday or the day before, we tweeted out the Joe Burrow and T. Higgins cards, and you can tell they're really attractive. Don't look like cheesy or phony at all. And our teams are getting better. The technology is getting better. So I think we'll make the most of it. But there could be some issues where some guys don't look maybe as accurate as they should or as real life as they should. But I think people understand that we're going through some unprecedented times, and there will be some critics, but we'll make the most of it. I think. I don't think it'll really impact the quality of the products. And then on your oversized Kobe Bryant memorabilia card, funny story about those. That was a retail only insert in Threads basketball that year, and retail. I don't often get the same type of information in the same timeline that I do with hobby. So I didn't even know those jumbo jerseys were in the product. And it turned out it was a huge selling point, and they did really well because it was the largest memorabilia card that we'd ever done. And so I was able to we were able to turn that into kind of a marketing positive. So I love those. I'm glad you brought that one on. In terms of,
it's gorgeous. It's absolutely.
What size is that?
Nice. It's a 5x7, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Bradley,
look at my head. I mean, look at if you want to do it's. I mean, it's almost as big as my head.
There we go.
Huge. It's gorgeous.
Did you make a 5x7 penny sleeve? Because I have some, and they also make 5x7 top loaders that you can locate. So.
Yeah, that might be the only way to do it, right? Because I don't know, because I don't know that we even did prime versions of those. So there shouldn't be any extra thick ones that would prohibit them from being in a 5x7 top loader.
Yeah. I'm thoroughly impressed by it. This first one I've ever seen. It's the first one I ever got my hands on. It just happened to be a Kobe Bryant,
awesome.
I was like, when I saw it, I went, oh my gosh, this is crazy. but it's a gorgeous card. I mean, it's and the patch is really nice. I mean, I'm impressed. I'm impressed. Y'all
How
did
big
a
is
great
that
job.
swatch right there?
Oh, dude, it's got to be close to what? That's got to be 2x2 or something. It's almost the size
Probably
of a
2x3.
full regular card, right?
Yeah, it's huge.
Wow, that's almost the size of a card itself.
It is. Oh, here I'm actually doing my. Well, I don't have a Panini card with some.
That's okay. You can turn it around.
But here we'll do this. I'm doing some Topps 2020.
Oh, nice. Stefan coming through.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it is almost.
Yeah.
It's really close. I mean,
I said 2x2 earlier, Tim. That's not a square. I'm not real math savvy, but you're right.
It's early on a Saturday.
Yeah,
2x3.
We appreciate it, Brad. Thanks for hopping on and sharing that with us. It's a great card.
Yeah, thank you, Brad. I appreciate it.
Yeah, that brings me to another question, real quick. I didn't really thought of with Brad showing the Kobe there. Losing him still to me boggles my mind. That he's not with us, and I don't know. Like I'm a Sacramento Kings fan, and he killed us all the time. So I'm not like a Kobe fan, but as a basketball person, as a dad, it doesn't, for whatever reason, it doesn't click in my head, right? We lose people all the time, but for whatever reason, I can't get around to it. And I've heard other people say that, and so I feel better knowing that I'm not the only one. But I know he was a big part of your guys' brand, and he was one of your exclusives. And I just how did that affect you? I mean, this is the first time I'm going to talk to you about this. It's been a while, but how did that affect you guys? How did it affect you personally? I mean, what was that like?
Man, it was huge. I think it caught all of us by surprise. And really, it took something like a global pandemic to kind of shift the focus away from that. And I don't know if that's good or bad, but it just is true. And he was our first global kind of exclusive guy that we signed when Panini America came into the U.S. It had the NBA exclusive. He was a great partner. He was, everything everyone says about him is true. He's a consummate professional, type A, smart businessman, really cared about the relationship with us and wanted us to continue innovating. He was a big fan of innovation and not just status quo with his trading cards. His influence on things like his Eminence collection that he kind of handpicked the cards for and the designs. We just can't say enough great things about him as a business partner, as a teammate, and it really impacted Brian Bain, who is our VP of acquisitions at Panini America. He was the gentleman who was lucky enough to once a month or so fly out to Kobe and do the signings, and he really developed a closer relationship with Kobe than any of us could have ever imagined. And he was really struck by it. It really affected him in a big way, and I think it just caused all of us inside Panini, and really, like everyone around the world, just caused us to really appreciate him and not take for granted every day, because you just never know.
Yeah. No, definitely. It's kind of crazy. So let's say we have another call in here, one of our regulars. What's up, O? How are you doing today?
I'm doing good, as you can see. I guess we're showing some Panini cards. These are from 2020 down with
Nice.
Trey Tono, Aquino.
Oh, nice.
And the Recollection collection.
Hey.
I got one of these last year. It was Ozuna.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
I love
now-
the Recollection collection.
Yeah.
It's a nice touch.
Oh,
I
did you
really
have
like buybacks. And I do have a
for
question.
Tracy this morning?
Oh, for Tracy?
Oh, for
Or
anyone.
just a question in general. Hop in. What's up?
So for Tracy, so if the draft, if like any of the drafts, like MLB draft or NBA draft, gets postponed, how would that affect the rookie class? Or like if when the season gets canceled, will we have like another dual rookie class like we did with hockey one time?
And NBA too had one of those not too long ago. The Kyrie Irving class
It was
was
12, 11, 12, 13. Those
Yeah.
2 years were pushed together when.
Yeah, I mean, I think if a season gets canceled, that's exactly what you would have is a dual rookie class. I mean, we hope that doesn't happen, and the NBA draft's coming up later this summer, and we haven't heard anything definitively about that. But if it is impacted or delayed, kind of, I think we're all kind of in this together, learning together as this thing goes, and I think the one thing that's really cool about Panini is that we're nimble. We're able to kind of move quickly and adjust on the fly when we have to. So I'm not too concerned about any kind of changes coming. It's just a matter of how we deal with them and when they're announced.
Yeah, I think that's a big part of it. I think that MLB looked to move to 5 rounds this year instead of their traditional 40, which is interesting. Which is very interesting to me that they would shorten it up that much, but. I appreciate it, bud. I'm going to put you back in and hold for a sec so we can get with Tracy a little bit more. He's great. He calls in all the time. We definitely appreciate that.
Oh, that's awesome.
One of our last questions this morning for you is, what's the next 6 months, the rest of the year basically look like for Panini at this point?
I mean, it looks – in fact, I'm going to go here and I'm just going to call up the release calendar just to kind of, as it stands right now, where we're at. So Select Baseball is slated to release May 22nd. Basketball Mosaic Hobby is May 20th. And then the Blasters and the Fast Break will be May 22nd. And Noir Basketball is slated to release May 27. Contenders Draft Picks Football is May 29th. Chronicles Football releases May 15, and Score Football releases tentatively June 5th. So that's kind of the most recent release calendar that I have in front of me. But I think everything else, I mean, we're kind of at the mercy of what the government does, but we're looking forward to plowing ahead and hopefully reopening in stages doesn't come back to bite all of us. And if we can just keep making steady progress, I think we'll get this behind us. And one of the things I've been most encouraged by is, I thought that the hobby might suffer a little bit from this, as so many other industries have, but it seems like one of the great things about sports cards and collecting has always been that it offers a diversion from the everyday stresses, and I think that's really been highlighted during the pandemic so far, is that people need something to take their minds off the crap, and trading cards have provided that once again.
So let me ask you, as social brand promotioner, how's Diamond Kings looking this year?
Promotioner.
How's Diamond Kings looking this year?
I haven't seen much of Diamond King stuff yet, but I know that you know more than most that brand kind of enjoyed this crazy renaissance about, what has it been, 3 or 4 years ago, that it really resonated again with people in a big way. And you were buying a lot of that stuff, and so I firmly believe that it's going to be just as strong when it comes out, probably early mid-June, I think.
Cool.
And look, our creative and design teams are getting their Photoshop fix in right now with all the football stuff. So I would imagine their skills are sharpened for DK. So I'm excited about it. That's, again, I don't know exactly what kind of all the influences that converge to make that product really resonate again in a big way 3 or 4 years ago, but I'm glad it did, and I'm glad that it found a home.
Tracy, I have to ask.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, I have to ask. I know you didn't mention it on the release calendars, but I believe Chronicles Racing is next. Do you have any insight into some of that? I think.
I was trying to find that. I actually had a piece of paper with that date on it not long ago. Let me see if I can find it for you.
That's fine. And with NASCAR getting ready to go live, no more iRacing. Next Sunday they'll run three races in Darlington and then 4 in Charlotte the next week. So basically in 10 days, they're running 7 races.
Yeah, we're gearing up for that too. We have a few announcements next week as it relates to NASCAR, and starting back up in terms of a few initiatives we have going, and we're excited about that because racing was kind of right there when the whole kind of pandemic hit and the stay at home was mandated. We had a few racing announcements ready to unveil. So those have been put on hold, but we're looking forward to launching those. And you'll probably appreciate it more, Val, than Tim or Stefan. But we're excited about having actual live sports again and having products to support that. And I think so. Just stay tuned. I think mid next week we'll have some new headlines to make on NASCAR.
Awesome. Super excited. And don't forget to tell the folks they have Panini Instant in their arsenal. So don't be afraid to use it.
That's a great point.
One last question. Are you guys Panini surprised about how the demand for your retail basketball products have been this year? Like, I felt like the last couple of years, it was there, but you could continually find it. This year, I feel like it was like everybody went in and bought it all at one time. Like they couldn't get enough, and then the resale and the what people have been able to turn and flip it for and all that stuff. Are you guys as a company really surprised about the demand and the want for it?
I mean, I personally have been surprised and we had high expectations this year, obviously, because of Zion and Ja and RJ and such a deep and talented rookie class. We knew it was going to be popular, but I mean, even so, it's blown me away in terms of the reality versus kind of anticipation. But I think if you talk to our sales executives or our executive panel, they might not be surprised. But to your point, I think when a product like Dahmer's Optic or Prism, I mean, Prism surprised nobody because it's been growing and it's kind of a beast in and of itself. But when a product like Dahmer's Optic gets consumed so quickly, I think it did surprise. It surprised me. I don't know that it surprised everybody, but I think the basketball market in particular has kind of led this market resurgence of just unprecedented. I mean, people used to talk about 91 Anaheim National as like those were the glory days. Man, I remember 91. And I think people now are going to talk about, I remember 1920 and because it just is a different market. I think maybe more active collectors on the market today than maybe there's ever been. I mean, I can't scientifically or numerically back that up, but it just anecdotally and what we're seeing kind of in sales numbers at retail is would certainly lead to that conclusion.
Well, yeah, no, it's been crazy, and I think it's good. I think the wider we can, and the more people we can invite into the hobby, and people that can come back or join, I think it's better for all of us. And it might take a few products out of our hands here and there, but again, it leads to more creativity, I think, from the producers of the content to hit a wider stat. And again, we get this necessity out of need, and I think we're gonna see some really interesting stuff coming up from all you guys, and so I'm excited to see what happens. And I appreciate you spent a half hour with us on your Saturday. I really appreciate your time today, Tracy. It's been great.
Oh no, man!
Great follow on. You're
Guys.
always very generous with your time, so we appreciate it.
No, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate the opportunity, and hope everybody watching stays safe and stays sane. And to all the wonderful mothers and mother figures out there, happy Mother's Day. We love you. We wouldn't be us without you. And so thank you for letting us collect. Thanks for not throwing away our collections back in the day when we left for school or work. And those who did, the moms who threw our cards away are the reason the ones who didn't are still so valuable. So you got to thank them too.
Yep. No, definitely. Well, thanks again, Tracy. We'll have to have you on again sometime soon.